Ladies, I have to say this because you're a beautiful group. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Learn to be disciplined. Discipline is extremely important in this deen. And have you ever asked why we have to pray in this time? Why I cannot eat from this time to this time? Have you seen it in Ramadan? Like, all of you looking at the watch, it's 8:20. No, there's 2 more minutes, right? Don't eat, not yet. Why? I was like, why? What is the 1 minute? For us, I thought it's only 1 minute. Discipline. So when we say there's a break, there's a break. Go and pray. Learn to discipline yourself to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's number 1. Number 2, I didn't say it, but now today I'm going to say it. Usually, I don't think I said it to Sheikh Yasin, I don't allow food and drink in any of the sessions. At all. This is not math. This is not history. This is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the words of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. I can. This is why I asked you, do you allow me to drink? But normally during the session, I don't. Teach yourself to say no to yourself. Unless if you're sick or you have a medical condition, it's a different story. But in general, imagine I'm talking every 2 minutes, I'm sipping my tea. What is this? What kind of a teacher is this? No. So learn this, be on time, always. And what they tell you to do, that's why they are beautiful. May Allah reward them. This is beautiful, this is ihsan. It's done in beauty, right? We need to follow it. They paid a lot, they put a lot of effort to do this. We need to follow it up. Questions, this is what I recommend. And Sister Alayha Noor, she reminded you, write your questions and put it here for me. I want for the afternoon, I see all the questions here. It will be much easier because a lot of the questions is repeated. So write it down, maybe we can get some papers. So we're not going to take any questions, so we can move on. And we will definitely have, bi'idhnillah, after we finish this, we will get more questions, maybe in the evening also. We still have tomorrow. Allah will put barakah. But I want you all, especially women, teach yourself discipline. Let alone no phone. Don't let the phone distract you. SubhanAllah, I remember in 2008 and 2010, when I first started there, one of the teachers, may Allah reward her, the class is about 300 students. It's huge. And she stands and she sits on the stage. It's actually a theater. And she puts a huge sign there. She said, no recording, no phone, and I will meet you at the Sirat. Wow. She put the taqwa inside us. Like, I'm not going to check on you, but Allah is seeing you, and we will meet there. Teach yourself this. If you do this, your children will learn this. So do that, please. May Allah reward you. Number 2, if you've seen, some of you have asked me, this is our institute, Jannah Institute. We have summer classes, it's moving, right? May Allah reward everybody who is working there. This is our motto. This is what we want to do. The light of knowledge to the heart of the woman, right? So we have our weekly Tuesday program. Some of you came to me and says you follow. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and you will get this notification, see? And you can subscribe to Webstream where you have a lot of the classes. This is our summer semester starting next week, not this week, the week to come. I think, I'm teaching 2 courses, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. The Saturday class is Women of Knowledge. Sunday class is about the hellfire. We're using the Quran, all by women, and very small class size, only 9. That's why you see some of them are already filled. This is for alphabet, people who doesn't know what Quran, and improving. There's stages, and there's youth classes. We have 4 youth classes from age 5 to 9, from 9 to 12, 13 to 17, 2 classes. This is the year of knowledge that's coming in September, inshallah. Okay? Now, let's go to our topic, bi'idhnillah. So we're going to talk about fasting. Fasting, relationship of fasting to menstruation. طيب? So the ruling of fasting. Bismillah. Yes, so here you go. You have ruling, making of the day, stopping eating and drinking, starting of Fajr prayer before she made Ghusl. All these topics we will cover. Let's take one by one. Bismillah. Read this very well. There is consensus of opinion that fasting is forbidden for the menstruating woman. It's forbidden. I put this word in black and in bold. What does that forbidden mean? I will pick up one person. Bismillah. What does forbidden mean? I said it in the beginning of the class. What is forbidden? So don't do it. What about if I do it? Yeah, give her the Allah barik.
Punished us.
So if we do it, we will be punished. And if I don't do it, if I stayed away from the forbidden, what will I get? I will be rewarded. Don't forget this, right? If she fasted, her fast is not correct, is not accepted, I will add she disobeyed Allah. Because I want you to memorize this statement. All of you, wherever you are, the obedience to Allah, al-ibadah to Allah, is what He wants, not what I want. Obeying Allah, worshipping Allah, is by His terms, not my terms. I like it, then I'm doing it. No. What He wants, what He likes, I follow. It's a very difficult concept for us. The more sophisticated we get, the more we have, the more knowledge, it gets very difficult. Why? Why not? You know the arguments? Men, women, young and old, we do? Nope. Al-ibadah, as they say it in the Islamic terminology, al-ibadah tawqifiyya. It is, this is how it is, you do it. So, absolutely no. So, if the youth come, and I had this question, why I cannot fast? Why the men fast and I cannot fast? You tell me the menstruation doesn't make me not pure. Why I cannot fast? I had this question all over the world, wherever I go. And my answer, number one, in a very calm, Allah said so. And my duty in front of Allah to do what He wants me to do, or don't do what He doesn't want me to do. My job is not to know why. There's always a hikmah, and then the hikmah comes in. Imagine you have PMS and you're bleeding heavy and you're anemic, and now come and fast 16 and 17 hours. And you have family and you have to cook or you have to work. Alhamdulillah. Okay? Now, the same question here. Making up. Why should we make it up? Same hadith, I put it for you for the salah. Remember the woman who came to ask Sayyidah Aisha, are you argumentative, Haruriya? She said, I'm not. I just need to know. She said, that's what we were taught. See, Sayyidah Aisha, the faqihah, Sayyidah Aisha is the most knowledgeable woman in Islamic history. What did she say? She said, He told us, that's what we do. That's what He said told us to do. We are doing it. Can she argue? Of course she can, right? She used to argue with the major Sahaba about things, and she was tough. You're wrong. She has knowledge. So she said, that's how it is. At the time of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, we did have our menstruation. We did not pray, we did not fast. He told us to make up the fasting, and He did not told us to make the salah. End of the story. Full stop, as they say. Period. Clear? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. طيب, now, scenarios. Very common. Bleeding stopped during the day of Ramadan. During the day. Pay attention to the wording. So here you go. You woke up for Fajr. You still have bleeding, right? And you are a woman who her period end or her cycle end by seeing the white discharge. By 3 o'clock you saw the white discharge. That means you're done. You went and took your ghusl and you start praying. What do you do with the fasting? Don't answer, knock your head. No. Wait. So here we go. So is it she has to stop eating? Read the slide. Does she has to stop eating and drinking? Imsak? With the intention of fasting, and she is obliged to make it up? So take this scenario. 8 a.m. in the morning. In these long days, you saw the white discharge, you took your ghusl. In the Hanafi school, and well known of the Hanbali, the answer is yes. You hold on and you continue to fast. But you also have to make it up. طيب? Now, Maliki, Shafi'i, and I put more correct because that's more other scholars agree, she is not obliged to stop eating or drinking. Why? Because when the obligation came in, she had the reason not to fast. Are you all with me? Yes? However, I love the opinion of Imam al-Shafi'i. Read the last one. Imam al-Shafi'i said, she is recommended to hide that she has broken her fast or she is not fasting, so she won't be subjected to accusations or punishments. At that time, if you eat publicly, you will be punished. See, where are we now? But accusations. Or you don't want to make public that I am having my cycle. Everybody has to know. This is what I tell people who put nail polish. I was like, you want to tell everybody you're having your cycle? Why? Why do I want to make this public information? So I love this. Yani I follow that she does not have to hold or make imsak, but don't eat and drink publicly. Out of haya, out of respect to the sha'air Allah, out of respect, yu'azzim sha'air Allah, the one who glorify the symbols of Allah. And fasting is a symbol of Allah. Everybody, imagine, everybody is fasting. You come to the masjid and you're holding your cup of water. You're not glorifying Allah. It is allowed. Allah gave you the permission. But publicly, why? Can't I drink privately? Did you get the point? These are all spiritual. This is your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, if you follow the Hanafi school, that's what they say. Again, look at the school of thoughts and which one you follow. Cannot pick and choose between the school of thoughts. Oh, I like this one here and I like that one here. No, it doesn't work this way. طيب. So, I can't tell you how many times I got this question this last Ramadan. So she did finish her cycle before Fajr, but she did not do the ghusl. Can she fast? You are reading it. Yes, alhamdulillah. That's okay. I'll accept the answer because you're reading. Yes, you make the intention. And then you take your ghusl as soon as you can. Some says before noon, but I didn't find a reason for that. But do it as soon as possible. Yani, take this scenario. You leave to work or you leave to school at 5 a.m. in the morning. Right? And as you are leaving, you saw the white discharge. You really have to think of every scenario. I'm not going to tell her you have to make your ghusl. Where will I do my ghusl? In the car? While you tell me she needs to do tayammum. I was like, no, because this permission is here. Making ghusl is not a requirement for the validity of the fasting. Are you with me? Did I confuse you? Only know from this side. So, to the fasting to be valid, you do not have to make ghusl. You only have to stop eating and drinking and make your intention. These are the two requirements. However, do your ghusl as soon as you can. As soon as you can. And don't delay it. Oh, I'm sleeping, I need to stretch, I need to go and do exercise. Don't do that. But if you really have no access to water, meaning reality, your fasting is valid. You don't have to make it up. And you see, I put it, the majority of the opinion, this is in al-Mughni, meaning al-Mughni, al-Kafi, al-Muhalla. This is Hanbali, this is Shafi'i, this is Hanafi, and Shafi'i and Hanafi. So the majority of the opinion, if you do not have yet opportunity to do your ghusl, your fasting is correct. Clear? Alhamdulillah. I hope so. Bismillah. Second opinion said it's not correct. This is the weakest opinion. So this is why I combine them and I will say do your ghusl as soon as you can. Don't delay it. As soon as you can. طيب. If there is sufficient time to make ghusl is a condition, and that is similar to the case of salah. Yani don't delay it. Yes. That they put ghusl, it's a weak opinion. They put ghusl as a requirement. I don't remember. I don't have it here, so I don't remember. Yeah, Jazakillahu khair. Yeah, I was about to do this. Jazakumullah khair. Yes. Okay. And then the third opinion said if she has time to do a ghusl, right? So what does that mean? So you work, let's say it is me, and I am, and this is reality. I'm not making this up, right? So in the training there is a training, subhanAllah, like when we did oncology rotation, you are in the hospital at 4 a.m. and you are home at 8 p.m. minimum. I don't know how I did it, but we did it. Right? So here I go. I leave at 4. Right? I left at 4. And then I don't know if I was clean or not. And then at 7 I saw my discharge. And I held my fasting. Where is the time to do ghusl? Right? And I'm home at 8, just like maybe 10 minutes before or 7 minutes before. By the time I get into the garage, Allahu Akbar. Right? But if that's not the scenario, don't delay it. That's what they are saying. Make sure you rush, you do it. Don't go over the board to do the ghusl because you have this permission, but this is also your taqwa. A lot of these things is your taqwa is being tested. And only Allah knows and you know. Can you really not do it or do it? You see my point? And the more you struggle for Allah, the more Allah will make things easy. Okay, yes.
So in this scenario, you said that she was clean by the time of Fajr. When Fajr came in, her menstruation had stopped, but she didn't make ghusl until later, right?
Yeah, so the fasting is correct.
So she can fast, but what about the Fajr?
Salah.
Fajr Salah.
What is the requirement for Salah? She has to make ghusl for Salah. She has to make ghusl for Salah. If she couldn't, my scenario, I'm in the hospital, what should I do? Tayammum. Remember what we said?
But she still has to pray the Fajr. That's Fardhan time.
If she finished menstruation, absolutely. Remember we said this in the previous slide. Once you're clear from bleeding, Salah becomes obligation. Becomes obligation. If you cannot get to the Salah, to the water. Absolutely. Exactly. Okay? طيب. Bismillah. طيب. Any question about this? We're going to move to the Quran now. Any question about fasting? This was easier. Less confusing, I hope. Yes? Okay. No answer? وَالْبِكْرُ رِضَاهَا صَمْتُهَا. You know this ruling? The virgin, the sign that she is accepting to get married is when she is quiet. When she is silent. So silence means you are agreeing. I'll take it. Bismillah. طيب. So her worship with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The woman during, I'm sorry?
I have a question about fasting.
Yes, please.
Now, what about those people that
I can't hear her, Habibati.
I have a question about like some people, they will have birth control to stop the period during the month of Ramadan. Is that haram or is that allowed or
what do you think? Let her answer because she used the word haram and I get allergy from the word haram.
I personally don't know, but
okay, that's a beautiful start. I personally don't know, alhamdulillah.
Okay. But I feel that it's we are kind of not obeying Allah in whatever He ordained on us.
Why? Alhamdulillah, you're not a faqih. Why you're making the life harder for people?
No,
why? You're a woman who bleeds for 15 days and heavy.
No.
Half of Ramadan is gone.
No, they stop intentionally not to have their period.
I know, my dear. I am an OBGYN and I write that to patients. Yes, this is the answer. If the birth control tablet is not harmful, that's the most important thing. If it is not harmful to her, it is allowed. See the words I used. I didn't say recommended. I didn't say she has to. I said it's allowed, it's her choice. Same thing comes when we come to the Hajj. The usual story. My period is going to come the day of Arafah and she panic. You have to look at every situation, ladies. Don't, alhamdulillah, you're asking all these questions and inshallah, Allah will make you change. Don't be too rigid. Think of the other. Think if this is you. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. This is you. You have 15 days of bleeding. You want to not fast the whole 15 days in Ramadan? If there is a possibility I can do it without bringing harm, the answer is yes, why not? So the first question, is it harmful? Is it harmful? If it is not, I say yes, you can if you want to. And that includes the young people, the young and the parents. The mother goes crazy if the young girl is on birth control tablet. And I keep saying it doesn't harm, but she doesn't listen to me. But that's okay. طيب, Okay. Bismillah, where are we? Oh, we are going to, what's happening? I don't know what's happening in my side. Just a second. Yes? Related to fasting. I don't know, what is happening here?
So you said that it's okay to take medication, but what
Yes.
if the period is just for like 5 days?
Whatever she wants, that's a
Okay.
choice. All scholars allowed it.
Okay.
If it is not harmful, some people, and so true, she said it's so difficult for me to make it up later on. Subhanallah, it is. Yani, how many of you have fasted Shawwal so far? Show me hands. طيب, and how many of you fasted Ramadan? See the difference? Why? It's only 2 weeks difference. Like it was 8 o'clock, we broke it, the last day was what, 8, in St. Louis was like 8:09 or 8:10, and now it's 8:20. It's only 10 minutes and we can't do it. So my point is, yani, be open to other people. Not everybody is you. People are different, but don't give the easy way also. I always say this. So I never say yes. And it's like, why do you want to have a birth control tablet? I always ask. I never say yes or no. Why do you want to have the birth? How long is your cycle? Have you made up for it? How about the woman who has delivered or breastfeeding, or she has already 300 days to make up? I had a friend who had 400 days to make up. She did it. She didn't know that she has to make up all her life. She came to me crying. I didn't know. She was 70. And she said, I have 400 days. I was like, tawakkal ala Allah, bismillah. Make it every Monday and Thursday. And Allah will make it easy. 2 years later, I was giving a talk, she came to me and she said, I'm done. Did you see the point? Yani, is it allowed? Yes, as long as there's no harm. Is it obligation? The answer is no. Everybody know themselves. Okay, let's go to the Quran. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I have a question.
I can't hear you, Habibati.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Can't hear you. Can you put it under your niqab? Maybe it will get better. Put the mic under your niqab.
I can talk. I say, I want to know if you think you are pure and you do the salah and after you fast and after you, like your period was 7 days.
I'll tell you what I'm going to ask you all. Please write your questions because this is getting really hard. I can't hear, taking a lot of the time. Write your questions, all of you. Yeah, we saw it. Go to the office. I'm sure the Sheikh has. Write your questions. We will make whole 1 hour, remind me, at the end, all to cover all your questions. How about that? Because it's easier, because the mic is an issue. I'm not hearing you very well, and I want to entertain all your questions. So all write it down, put it here. I will look into it, and we'll divide them according to the topic. Let's move on, unless something not clear. Yani, in the slide is not clear, but not scenarios. Scenarios we will cover. How about that? Bismillah. So worship with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have reading the Quran and you have touching the Quran. There's two complete separate things. So touching the Quran or reading the Quran. Meaning, can I read the Quran? I put the Quran this way, I'm not touching it, and I flip it with a pen or with a glove. Is that allowed? Can I even read it without touching? Can I touch it without reading? I need to move, I'm cleaning. Somebody asked me to give them the Quran. Can I? Let's see what the scholar says. Here we go. Reading the Quran is divided into two. Yes, give it to people.
So if you
Jazakallah
have a
khair.
question, raise your hand and I'll give you a post-it.
Yeah, please. Already? So reading the Quran, they divided it into less than 1 ayah and more than 1 ayah. Reading. طيب? So reading 1 ayah, for example, I am going to bed and I want to read Ayatul Kursi. Right? Morning and evening adhkar. Can I read my Ayatul Kursi? And reading plenty. So let's see what the scholars decide. Here we go. Look at that. Not allowed. They did not allow it. The Hanafi, the Shafi'i, the well-known opinion of Al-Hanbali, basically a Jumhur. Jumhur meaning 3 of the school of thoughts. Al-Hasan meaning Al-Hasan al-Basri, Al-Nahawi, Al-Zuhri, Ata, Ibn Jubayr, most of the scholars. However, wait, just a second. They allowed it. Imam Malik, I'm sure Sheikh Yasin told you it's allowed. Imam Malik allowed it. Shafi'i allowed it in one opinion. Ahmad in one report from Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Hazm al-Zahiri, Ibn al-Musayyib, Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, Ibn al-Mundhir, these are all scholars. They allowed it. So there's two opinions. The stronger opinion based on the school of thought that she is not allowed. But there is also another opinion that it is allowed to read the Quran. Now, let's go back here. The people who said she cannot read, they all depend on this hadith. لا تقرأ الحائض ولا الجنوب شيئا من القرآن. The problem with this hadith is very weak. The other one, this one. Hadith is ضعيف, and I put you the reason. That's something very technical, but for you to learn. Since alhamdulillah, some of you are students of knowledge, and some of you want to, bi'idhnillah. In hadith, hadith meaning it's the saying of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. The hadith has two parts. Every hadith. There is, they call it al-matan. What did he say, alayhi salatu wasalam? And there is a sanad, the chain. Give you an example so you will understand. Here I am, I'm talking. I said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There's 120 women more. What I said Bismillah is the matan, what I said. As-sanad is you, meaning Alayha Noor will go outside and tell her mother, right, that Sister Haifaa said. Her mother will go and tell her friend, and her friend will tell, and this is the chain. And the chain is in not the same time necessarily, different times. Till it reached, for example, Imam al-Bukhari, or till it reached Imam Abu Dawood or Imam Muslim. So this hadith that they depend on, the problem in it is that this in the chain is a man called Ismail ibn Ayyash, one of the chain. This is a whole science called al-Jarh wa al-Ta'dil, for those of you who have studied, meaning every man or a woman in the chain, they take them and they look at them. Who are they? I can't tell you. It's a mind-blowing science. Everyone, that they are thiqa, that they are very trustworthy. They are not very trustworthy. They're kadhab. They lie. And according to that, this chain changes. Are you with me? Everyone? Alhamdulillah. So in this one, this is a weak chain. See, I put it here, and that's other hadith. لا تقرأ الحائض ولا النفساء من القرآن شيئا. Another weak chain. That's why they differed. That's why they differed. Okay? So if Sheikh and this is again the other one. So if Sheikh Yasin tells you, you can read, don't jump on him. Because it is Imam Malik's opinion. No, it's a well-known. When I gave this class in Jannah Institute last semester, I had a lady from Morocco. This is the beauty of the COVID and online. We had people from all over the world. And she said, I am from Morocco. And we always read the Quran. I said, you're absolutely right. That's what Imam Malik does. Don't panic, you're fine. However, don't pick and choose madhab. So you are Hanafi when it comes to 3 days of bleeding. And you are Shafi'i when it comes to the 15 days. And you are Maliki when it comes to reading the Quran because it falls to what I like. Don't do that. Exactly. Yeah, that's how it is. That's why I'm giving you all the opinions. But don't choose. You don't have knowledge. You don't have knowledge. You follow, you ask. If he told you, you say, Ya Imam Yasin, should I read? I'm sure he will answer you this way. Who can read? And she will have no problem. Who can read? And all agreed. If you are a hafidah and you are so worried, you will forget. And for those of you who are memorizing or have memorized, walillah alhamd, if you do not review your Quran, good luck. That's how I will say. Good luck. If you don't review it once a week, good luck. So reviewing the Quran, memorization is extremely important. If I cannot read, I will forget. So this, everybody. If there is a teacher and there is nobody else to teach, then she can read. So the reading of the Quran, there is a different opinion. Yes, you can, or you. What does reading mean? That's another thing you need to learn. Reading is when my tongue moves. When my tongue moves, I'm reading. If my tongue is not moving, I am not reading the technical word. So if I'm just looking, like now you all are looking at the screen, but you're not reading. You're reading with your eyes. Did you get the point? So if you are reading, if you're holding your phone or you're holding your iPad and you're just going through it, you're okay. But if you read it, like if you go and read this, I don't know, where are you? Yeah. Okay, so if you're going to say Imam Malik as Shafi'i, I'm reading. Did you get that? Okay, because this also comes in Ramadan, a lot of that, like, can I just look at the Quran and read it with my eyes? The answer is yes. Alhamdulillah. I'm not going to say questions because you're going to write it. Okay, so they allowed, why did they allow the Quran? Because there is a lot of argument. I'm not going to get you through the arguments because you're going to get overwhelmed. I put it here because it's an institute of knowledge, but I think this may be a little bit too much for you. But I just need you to get to know the fact that there is always two sides. Think of fiqh. Allah is exalted and His deen is exalted. No, have you ever watched I don't know, I don't have TV, I don't watch TV, but have you watched before, like there is a case and the two argument, like Judge Judy, right? If you used to watch Judge Judy, like this gives his opinion, this gives his opinion, right? This makes it sound so right and this makes it sound so right. Based on what? Based on evidence, how they look at it. Same thing in fiqh. There's things are very clear and there's things are not clear. Alhamdulillah, there's different opinion, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So this is one of the opinions that the woman can read during menstruation. A kafir was able to read the Quran because this verse, Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam sent it in a letter to the kuffar to read. And they said, if the kafir can read the Quran, how can the Muslim woman during her menstruation cannot? Right? And then they responded back. Look how they responded. They said, this is not the Quran, this is a letter. Now we're talking about the Quran itself. Did you see the argument? My point is I'm trying to make you open to different opinions because everybody look at an evidence in a certain way. And that's the second one, that Allah said, لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ, to read it any time. And أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنِ, don't they comprehend the Quran? That's a huge question, twice in the Quran. Why don't you comprehend the Quran? Why don't you understand the Quran? What do you tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Day of Judgment? I didn't know Arabic. Don't you know English? Don't you know Urdu? Don't you know your language? Why didn't you understand the Quran? أَمْ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِنَا قَفَالُهَا, this is in Muhammad. Or their hearts are locked. When the heart is locked, you don't understand because your brain is somewhere else. I understand everything. This is how I say it always to the woman, and I'm not putting anybody down, but I just need you to see reality. If I ask every woman in this room, right, young and old, give me a recipe for rice. Do you think anybody will stand up and says, I don't know? Anybody don't know how to do a rice? I'm not saying detailed, just rice. What do I need to make a rice? Teach me, I have no idea. What are you going to tell me? You need water, you need rice, stove, or a place or something that you cook on, and now I'm talking at the basics. Salt if you like it. Anything else? Did anybody who didn't know the answer? If now I come and say, how many surahs in the Quran? 114. How many of you know that answer? Show me hands. How many surahs doesn't start with Bismillah? 1. How many of you know that answer? 50%. 50%. Which surah has 2 Bismillah? How many of you know that answer? Show me hands. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. And the other one, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Why not? Everybody gave me the answer for the rice, which is very simple. And how many surahs starts and doesn't start? Start having less and less hands. So this is their argument, that Allah sent the Quran for us to understand it, so the woman needs to read it. That's their argument. especially these days. And these days, actually, you can easily get out of this all different opinion. You read it in English. It's not the Quran, it's the meaning of it. Don't stop reading it in English during your menstruation. Or اقرأ التفسير, for those of you who read Arabic, read the commentary. That's not the Quran. Do we do that? No. No. How many does? So really we need to go, and this is what I always say, in fiqh class, yes, it's fiqh, do and don't, but we always need to go down to our hearts and ask ourselves why we are not there. What is the issue? What is the obstacle? Everything is available. It's me. It's me, it's my nafs, my weakness, my shahwa, my desire. I like everything else. When it comes to Allah's ruling, difficult. I don't have time. Subhanallah. طيب. So here you go. The other one, that's a very different one. We'll come to it when we come to Hajj. Okay. Those in a state of janaba are not, because they always compare state of janaba, meaning after marital relationship. That state is very similar to the state of menstruation. And they say this is the evidence for. Okay, final strongest opinion, which I actually follow this one. The Prophet, peace upon him, would remember Allah in all of his states. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, very famous commentary of the Quran. He wrote a huge book, Fath al-Bari, Sharh Sahih al-Bukhari, Ibn Hajar, and the remembrance encompasses more than the Quran. So the difference between dhikr and recitation is what is known to people, meaning you need to read all the time. Strongest opinion, it is permissible. There is a lack of clear evidence to prohibit. What I do and what I recommend, to combine both. Bring a Quran during your menstruation that has a lot of commentary on the side. Right? And read with your eyes. Don't read with your tongue. And you're done. You can touch it and you can read. Or read from your iPad. Then, alhamdulillah. Always try to see, is there a middle way? Is there a middle way I can do? Please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not do what I like. Alhamdulillah, there is. Clear? Very simple. Straightforward. Rabbi lakal hamd. Alhamdulillah. I'm sorry? If she is in a class, what do you, reading or touching you're talking about? Reading. What kind of a class? That's what I asked. Of course it's Quran class. You are in. We talk about the Quran. But is it memorization or is it tajweed? If it is tajweed, I tell her, don't do it. Don't do it. Do the theory. But don't read the Quran. But if it's memorization, I said this in the beginning. Memorization, yes, because you will forget. Imagine a woman has 12 days of her cycle. So not everybody 3-4 days. You have to apply the rule for everybody. So for memorization, the answer is yes. Yes. I answered. Quran memorization class, yes. Quran tajweed class or reading class, no. You can delay it. Just look, exactly. Just look. Look, you can do it on your tablet, on a phone, or a computer. Just look. Read with your eyes, not with your tongue, and you're absolutely safe. Nobody will argue with you. طيب? And I'm sorry? The teacher, if there is no other one, absolutely yes. Teacher. Yeah, because you're a teacher. Nobody else. Okay? But don't take the easy way. That's what I keep saying and reminding you. How many times I've said this in this class? Don't take the easy way right away, ladies. Yani, this is how I tell myself. Allah is worthy of my struggle. So what if I little bit go out of my way to please Allah? How much He gives me? Right? Do I deserve it? Do we deserve it? Yani billah alaykum. Honestly, do we deserve this ni'mah? This now the ni'mah we are sitting in, do we deserve it? Right? Are we grateful for this ni'mah? No. The shukr, the meaning that Allah wants me to, no. But Allah is, that's when we say Allah is Kareem, Allah is generous, Allah is Rahim. He keeps giving us. Argumentative, we disobey Him, we argue, we don't want to do it, we don't like to do it, but He still gives us. Because, so what? Wake up, so what? People do so many hard things for dunya. People work 16 hours for this life. They jog 3 miles to look good. Pay that much money for surgery so they can look much nicer. And when it comes for Allah and for the Akhirah, and don't think of people, think of yourself. I'm talking to you individually. Don't think of other person. I always say, everybody better than me. As Sayyidina Umar used to say, كل الناس أفقه منك يا عمر. Everybody more knowledgeable than you, Ya Umar. Talk to yourself, look at yourself. Put the selfie on your heart, not on the other people. So struggle for the sake of Allah. Alhamdulillah. So now the option is, what about now scenarios? So she is finished her bleeding, but she didn't do ghusl. Can she read the Quran? Now she cannot. All of them agree. Because now it's in her hand. Did you get the point? Now it is her choice. She delayed the ghusl. Not she cannot. She delayed it. I mean, how many times we delay the ghusl? I'm tired. Now, don't think of summer. Think of when it is minus 30. You live in Albany, you get the minus 30, right? You don't? We did get it this year in St. Louis. SubhanAllah, all the pipes frozen. So when you delay the ghusl, you're tired, let me take a nap, I'm still cooking, I need to go and do something and come back. You know, the usual our life, right? Nope, you cannot do that. So if you have a class, you need to go and do your ghusl. Or you're a teacher, you need to go and do your ghusl first. No different opinion in this. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. طيب, reading now. One ayah. You're teaching your son before you go to bed, right? Permissible to read less than one. Abu Hanifa, Imam Ahmad, and not permissible for the purpose of worshipping Allah. Pay attention to this part. So the Quran, when you read Quran, is it an act of worship? Is reading Quran an act of worship? Yes or no? I want to hear it. What does that mean? يعني, am I going to be rewarded as if I am standing up for Salah? Right? As if I am fasting Ramadan? Or I'm fasting extras? So it's an act of worship, right? If I am reading this ayah not as an act of worship, meaning I am reading it as dhikr, not act of worship of reading Quran. I am reading it to teach my son. I am reading it as part of morning and evening adhkar, they allowed it. Do you see the subtle technical difference? You did not understand. I don't know, you're looking at me like, what? What does that mean? Exactly. I am not reading it, I am reading the Quran as an act of worship. I am reading it for my son. See, that it's a very subtle difference, but it makes our life much easier. I am reading it part of morning and evening adhkar. I'm not reading the Quran specifically. I'm reading the adhkar. Because we are allowed to read, to remember Allah in any time, right? You can do morning and evening adhkar. You can do the adhkar before you go to bed, even during your menstruation. That's okay. Your intention, exactly. Here comes the intention. Yes. So the 3 quls, I love the 3 quls. What is the 3 quls? There's nothing in the Quran says the 3 quls. I know what you say, of course. But I'm trying to move us, when referred to the Quran, to refer in a what befitting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's very common 3 quls. All the children say it. But what should I say? What about قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Again, the etiquettes with Allah, the adab with Allah, can't tell you what it brings you. Again, these things you don't study it in class of fiqh, but we need to apply it. This is tazkiyah, this is purification. So this is the words of Allah. I'm not going to call it casual. So what about the 3 قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ that we read for protection, which is morning and evening adhkar. The same thing, I just said it. Or before you go to bed. Same thing. Your intention is not I am reading Quran, right? As an act of worship. I'm reading it for protection. So you see the subtle differences? Yes? Alhamdulillah. Yes. That's for all schools, exactly. Not permissible for the purpose of worshipping Allah See, they said Hanafi and Shafi'i and Ahmad. The others, they permitted it anyway. But if I am not doing it for the purpose of worship, they all allowed it. So I can do my morning and evening adhkar. I can do it to teach my child. I can do it to read it to my child, to teach him. Like before you go to bed, make sure you say this. Or the morning and evening, you can say this. Alhamdulillah. It's the same ruling of state of janaba, exactly. That's why I told you they take the ruling of janaba, apply it to menstruation. Some scholars argue they are different. They are different, but in general they are. Yes, sister. Wallahi, I cannot hear a thing. Can't hear a single word. Next time we have to, but it's a social distance, so we can't do that. Right.
Okay, about the ghusl for janaba and ghusl for haid, Sheikh Hassin say different. If you are in state of janaba, you can do anything for Quran, for your head or your memorization, everything, because this is in your hand. You can just take a shower, make ghusl immediately. But in janaba, in haid, you have long time, not by purpose. You can't make ghusl without done with the.
So what, if I understood you right, state of janaba is a short time.
Yes, and
right?
in your hand.
So you need to go and get your ghusl. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
State of menstruation is 6, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days. Is he that, or are you talking about the time of ghusl only?
He make it different.
In
He
which
make
way?
it different between state of janaba and state of haid.
Right.
Make
In
it different for reciting Quran.
In which way?
For reciting, for reading Quran.
In which way? That's what I'm asking.
For anyway, for you can do anything for Quran. You can do your memorization.
When you are in a state of janaba.
Yes.
Why? Well, that's what I understood. Why?
Because
it's a short and you can go and get ghusl.
Yes.
State of menstruation, 6 or 7 or 10 days. Or he's talking about when you finish the menstruation till you get the ghusl. That's my question to you.
Yeah, he make it different. Not like he didn't put it both the
Did you
same.
get my point? طيب, I will discuss. If he mentioned, again, I never comment what other scholars said unless I hear it, because I don't know what they said. But if he mentioned that when you are in a state of janaba, you cannot read the Quran, you can do none of this,
Yes.
because it's a very short period, right? And you can right away go and get your ghusl. Versus menstruation is a 6 or 7. He's absolutely right. But if you're talking about the timing of ghusl, when she finishes her menstruation till she gets the ghusl, is that what he mentioned?
Yeah. No.
That's what, exactly. No. So he is absolutely right. Because your state of janaba is very short, right? And you have the time to go and do ghusl. State of menstruation can be very long. It can be 10 days, can be 15. How long you bleed, Allah knows. Clear? I don't know. I'm going to pass this one. Okay. طيب, touching the Quran. Can I touch it? It's very interesting that all the schools of thought said it's not permissible. And they based it on this verse in Surah Al-Waqi'ah. طيب, وإنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. So let's look at this. So إنه لقرآن كريم. Indeed, it's a noble Quran in a registered, well-protected book. The second part I should add it. See, every time I do this, I add and change. لا يمسه إلا المطهرون, should not be touched but by the pure. So they said that's it. The menstruating woman cannot touch the Quran. The response. That's when you know the Arabic word language very well. They said the pure here are the angels. And the pure is referring to the Kitabul Maknoon, the well-protected book, not the Quran. Did you get it? I'm going to stand up. And I'll show you one thing. Bismillah. Okay. Bismillah. Good. So look at me. إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون. You all see this? طيب. Indeed, it is a noble Quran in a well-protected book. Here it needs to be book. So there's two elements here. There's Al Quran and there is Al Kitab Al Maknoon. Yes? Yes, everybody? طيب. This ayah end up next verse after it, لا يمسه إلا المطهرون, cannot be touched but by the pure. Which one? This one or this one? Just a second. This one, that's the question. That's what the scholars look and says. Which one Allah referred to? لا يمسه, the who, the ha al-dhamir, the ha. Is Allah referring to this? That's the Quran, then we cannot touch it. Or if they are referring to the kitab al-maknoon, it's not clear in the verse. Which one? That's when you know the Arabic language. The principle in the Arabic language, al-ha ta'ud ala al-aqrab al-dhamir. That's how they say it. The ha usually refer to the closest one. And what is the closest one? So they said it's not the Quran. Did you get it? See how delicate? How do we know? And we say haram, we do it, we don't do it. I think I delivered the message. I see it today. That now you are so scared of saying anything. And this, honestly, this is the most important thing, because that's where the major problems happens, is when I am very scared. Not scared, I'm very cautious. And when I say and I don't say. See how they argued. You never, how many times you've read al-Waqi'ah? Did you ever think of this? The ha ta'ud ala man? No, kitabun maknoon. You know because you studied it. But if you have not studied this, it's very unlikely. And there's so many other same scenario. So they say, the not permissible, they went on the fact that this is clear, this is the Quran. They responded and says, no, it is not the Quran. It's the angels and the kitab al-maknoon. It's the lawh al-mahfuz, the tablet, the preserved tablet. So that's when they come and says, it is permissible. I'm coming to the next one. So, how do I combine all these differences of opinion? What do you do here? Touch it or don't touch it? Exactly. To be on the safe side. Although this argument is there, but I have not seen anyone. People are scared, and I like this because that's the reverence to Allah's book. So this is what I tell the woman. Put a glove, and you are absolutely fine. Now, by the way, I don't think I have the Quran. I have my Quran. Okay, think of my phone as the Quran. I have a cover, right? It's not the Quran, it's not the phone. The phone is this. So if I am holding the Quran, I'm moving it through the cover, you are okay. Did you get that? All the Qurans now, you see the new Qurans that says covers? Mine has one also, right? Some people cover with a name. That is not the Quran, that's the cover. The Quran is the Quran. It's the pages. So when you flip the page, you cannot. How do you do it? Easily. Have a glove, and you are done. Or I had this one lady with the glove. It was very hard for her in our memorization class. It was very hard for her so she used it with a pen. Easy. These days, even easier from your phone. So you want to read review from your phone or from your iPad. And as we say, play it safe. But if you see somebody, and why I'm giving you all the opinions, because I want you to be open-minded. If somebody tells you no, and that is not somebody like you and me has no knowledge. I'm talking about people who have knowledge. Like if somebody comes in, right, and they debate with Sheikh Yassin, and I'm sure Sheikh Yassin will say, yep, we know that. But this is what we apply in this masjid. And me as a visitor, or that guy as a visitor, you have to respect this masjid. The people who invited you. But I want you to be, or you go and travel somewhere else and you see people not doing it, and you say, oh yeah, I know, there's two opinions. Alhamdulillah, no more fighting. Clear? طيب, we're done. Can you believe it?